Spending too much time staring at your face, and I can't seem to find a word to write.
1 2 1 2. The inspiration, I think, came Jan Albert came up with it the way he does in these things, and 1 2 1 2 is the postal number, and it then but the 1 2 1 2 was to remind us that we're about what we're doing, and all the time is to do what we want to be true to ourselves, and not feel we should be doing this or that.
And I can't seem to find a word that rhymes with your name. Do you wanna know where I wanna go? Should I stay? I can make you fierce. Disappear, come over here. So let me take you by the hand. I will show you who's the man. Yeah, I am. I'll make you understand. Yeah, I know I'm pretty cocky, but I'm gonna rock your body on the floor. Come on and give me some more.
Yeah, how did I come here? Yeah, I was living in Nelson. I'd got to know this couple, this family, well, mainly the couple, quite well, especially Irma, the mother of the kids, and they were running an ice cream cafe, and somebody came along and offered them a lot of money for it, and they decided fairly soon after they would sell the cafe, and they would use the money to buy some land.
It started in Nelson when we went to a Dutch Queen's birthday celebration at Chez Ilko. So I think we're talking probably 2001, and I must say I didn't really notice Kris that evening. I was more drawn to his wife Yara. I had an instant connection with her, and I think she felt really drawn to me. Oh, actually, it was much earlier. It was 1998. Now I know. 1998. I was pregnant with our first child, Luca. I was quite pregnant, and I think there was an instant connection because Yara, she loves children, and yeah, we had talks together, and I started. I offered that evening. I said, I would love to take you to horse riding, because she couldn't drive anymore, but she could still ride a horse. So that's where it all started.
So they, meanwhile, had another young family with 2 kids. They were also Dutch, as were Irma and Albert, and they decided that they wanted to try living together as 2 families. The 2 families moved out here, one in the house that was here, and the other in a bus. Yeah, that I felt a strong pull to go come back to the country, and especially to see where this would take me with these people. I said, keep me a space. I remember saying that very clearly. I wasn't really invited. I invited myself.
Later, Kris said to me that he notices that evening, but he wasn't interested in us, because we were Dutch, new immigrants, and I don't know, there wasn't something that was alive in him. He was maybe a little bit like, but then that changed once we got to know Yara more and more.
But was these 2 families wanting to live differently, wanting to homeschool their kids? So it was that combination of moving out of town and living with people, and seeing how yeah, seeing how it goes. And but basically, I never looked back because it was all yeah, very exciting in many ways from very early on.
We came out here onto this land together with Kris. He somehow last minute he said, "Oh yeah, I'm coming too. I want to see the place," and we wandered around and. But there was no talk about him joining us. He was just interested and supportive.
Yeah. Well, we never set out to live like this. I mean, initially we came out just with friends that came with our house bus and parked it next to our house. And it sort of grew from there. It just evolved, and we got to know more people, and they had an interest of living with us, and we liked them to live with us, and that's how it organically went.
Leading up to that decision to want to come out here, Irma and I had already, they'd shown me the the book, The Continuum Concept. It's written by a woman in the 1970s who ends up through various amazing circumstances in the Amazon jungle, living with an indigenous tribe which has had minimal contact with the outside world, and then seeing how those people were living, just spending a lot of time just watching and observing an immense happiness, contentment with life among the adults, among the kids, about the adults and the kids, and then realizing how totally different it is from her own experience, from the whole Western experience, and yeah. So that book, when they told me about it and I read it, and it had a huge effect on me because I just kept saying, of course.
Yeah, I think I like how you say that. I think those books is they brought up something that we actually deep inside we knew, and it was just giving words to something that we like. Especially with raising our kids. It's putting a child in a separate room and separating it and all the sort of the authoritative parenting. It didn't sit with us. And we knew there was a different way, but I think the continuum concept and then later nonviolent communication, they gave words.
They were pretty happy how they were raising their kids, but there was something missing that they hadn't quite got, and they got it from this book. And I got it very easily, very quickly myself. And then somehow around about the same time, nonviolent communication, NVC or compassionate communication, we came across that and realized, so this is really big stuff too that we want to live by, how we relate to each other, and again also how we relate to our kids. So those two things together were and are huge parts of this place, and they've been growing and developing and changing ever since the early days.
Yeah, I think one thing that is really strong for me, and this is how we live with each other, is this authenticity and real honesty with each other. And I think that relates back to the tools we have around nonviolent communication, is that we actually, if I feel annoyed, after I've heard Kris say something, I can share it with him, but he knows that ultimately it's back to me. It's not because he's wrong or what he said. It's just that it triggered something in me, and it's because maybe something that was alive, that is a need that is not met. And I think it's really it's such a relief to be living with people that have that same understanding, because it means that we don't have conflict.
Irma at the moment is doing a parenting course for parents who have asked for how can we parent differently, and she's calling it respectful parenting, and I'm writing an article around this at the moment, around the link between yeah, NVC and parenting and that kind of thing. Wanting to be open and authentic and honest, and when disconnection happens with the child or with each other, to face it there and then, or as soon as you possibly can, and then with the tools of NVC to sort it out. Yeah, in that house there's another family that moved here after we bought the place. I think the mother saw Irma on a national TV program about parenting. They have a daughter and a son. A daughter who's almost the same age as Yiba, our second oldest child here. All the kids here and from that family are homeschooled. They've never been to a school, and those two girls especially have been very close for many years now. I think it's about 12 years. They're heading for about 17 now. I love watching them, that friendship mature from the outside, of course, and those two girls will be friends forevermore. I'd be very surprised if not. And they spend a lot of time together. They're doing correspondence courses at the moment together, and it's a precious friendship I can see.
So what we call it life learning or self-directed education. So from the moment they started walking and talking, we realized that actually children are so capable, and they really want to do what people around them do. So I think we've been really aware of that role modeling, and the kids, if you're looking at them now, almost 15, 17 and 21, I think they're growing into very solid, stable young people. And I think for me that is way more important than any academic stuff, because I know they can do that, and they're actually showing that's the easy part. But for us it's more about having wholesome personalities, people that believe in themselves, that are self-directed, self-motivated, and that's really how it's panning out. It's like, wow, these kids just they know who they are, and they'll be fine.
They have the skills to navigate through life.
Yeah.
En dan dit. Dat is het meeste one-to-one purpose die soort.
Gonna make Gouda.
Gouda.
Yeah.
That's what you usually make.
No, I've been playing a bit with things, but I'm back to Gouda for a bit.
Okay. Hooray, more cheese.
So this is Gouda, or boerenkaas, they call it, and I made it 2 days ago. So it's a bit of a process over days, and now it's ready to go into the cheese fridge for storage, and I leave it up to a month at least before we eat it.
Alright. All like that. Come on. That's it. Alright. Oh yeah. See, she gets all shaky. It's all right. And then there's the building truck to upset her. Okay. All right. I've just washed the teats and just put a bit of thing good for the put on the teats and make the milking easy. Hey, but she's still on guard. Okay. Hey. Why don't you have a feed, eh? Yeah, you can say NVC can be quite confronting. Yeah, it's certainly not about being nice. And a lot of people, because it's also called compassionate communication, people assume that it's always about being nice. But if you're being authentic and honest, then there are going to be times that it's going to be very confronting. And people have been interested in NVC, have come here to our practice group, and especially if they had certain religious beliefs and things, then most of them didn't last very long because it was too confronting. The deepest thing that keeps me here is not only the beauty of the land and the garden and the animals, is the people. Ja.
Goed, we zien elkaar volgende week dan.
Ja.
Ik neem boksen mee, want volgens mij hebben jullie ontzettend veel
Ja. Stikken. Ja.
Die stikken in het fruit, moet je zien.
Ja.
Oh.
Ja.
Dit zijn die prunes.
Ja, heerlijk. En die...
Kids, moet je proberen, man.
Ja, en de lekkerste voor mij zijn de zachte op de grond. Ik eet ze bijna rot.
Deze zullen niet zacht zijn. Ja. Heerlijk, man.
Nee, die zijn hard. Oké. Ja, oké. And so you're gonna okay. Let me think. Are you planning to come back now? Here? No. Okay, yeah, because I'm just planning something else.
See you next week.
Yeah. Okay. Mwah. Hey. What a lot happening, eh? What a lot happening. Oh goodness. Oh, you poor thing. Hey. Oh. Okay. Oh, Santa. Hey, it's all right. That's it. Come on, chuck. Yeah, that ever-changing, every day something comes up that, just yesterday I was sitting in this yurt with Irma, and she confronted me with a couple of things that were quite painful to hear once again, and about something I'd said or done, and so that's not comfortable, but it really matters to me how we connect, she and I and me and everyone and the other 5 adults here at the moment.
We're not nice to each other all the time. Like, it's not being nice and beating around the bush. It's actually being really honest, but again taking that responsibility for what we want and sharing that. So is that how you see it too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It can be challenging at times. I mean, and it's like a mirror. I mean, you all of a sudden are faced with how you are, and not necessarily how you want to be in life. And yes, so that's the feedback you get from other people here, and learn and evolve and develop, and yeah.
I think with that sort of longing to be authentic and honest. Before that actually often comes connection, so to meet people where they're at. So out in the world, I might sometimes not really speak my truth because I know that it might lead to some disconnection, and then so it's really, it's not black and white, but I really love that here with the people that we live with, that we have that on a day-to-day basis. We can just really be ourselves, and as you said, it can be quite in the face sometimes living with other people, and it's something that it's not for everyone. because you're constantly being put up with mirrors. Like, oh, okay, that's that's how I come across, and yeah, that's my personality. But, yeah, what you were saying, it's not necessarily that we do everything to avoid conflict. It's more that we don't need to get to real conflict because we are able to talk about what's going on for us really openly.
Before it escalates.
Yeah, before it escalates, yeah. Yeah.
Talk to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, lovey.
Yes. Come on, baby.
Got any eggs?
Yeah, have a look. I hope you're counting them, Jenny.
Counting?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
You didn't. You've got to count them.
I started
No.
and I it didn't finish. Oh, you got your nice shirt on.
Hey?
This one I like it.
Yeah, which one? Oh, that one, yes.
Your green stone in your shirt and then your blue jumper.
Yeah, eh?
Yeah, nice.
If you're out of eggs, are you out of eggs?
Yes.
All right,
am.
just take half a dozen maybe. Which is nice.
Put it in my skirt.
Yep,
Okay.
all good.
Yeah.
The key principles about it's the living of it that keeps me here. The continuum concept book, the continuum, by the way, being the continuum with how we were as human beings for millions of years, basically, and have lost and well, especially in the last 10,000 years since the agricultural revolution, and yeah, all sorts of huge changes have happened since then, from the hunter-gatherer days. So for much longer than 10,000 years, we evolved to be how this Amazonian tribe reminded the writer of the Continuum book. Hey.
Okay.
Oh well, I might as well lift it so you don't get dirty.
Oh,
All right. There you go.
Man on the run.
Okay. Okay. They want to come in. It's the builders.
Oh.
I think. No. No. I don't know what it is. In my experience, the main people that I connect with in my world, including outside of here, are people who are passionate about connecting with other people, and then there's a small number who I don't know many of who have a similar experience. I think in their connection with nature. I suppose most of us are, for me, yeah, I love nature, I love the mountains, I love the bush. But if I had to make a choice between nature and people, I would choose people, because that's where I meet the sacred, you could say, where I meet myself at the deepest level. Or God, whatever. Yeah, I've said many times to different people that that if I didn't have all these friendships with women here, and so Tessa doesn't live right here, but yeah, she's a very dear friend. If I didn't have these friendships, I can imagine how it would have been very tempting to end up in an intimate sexual relationship with someone that wasn't really the best for me. So I haven't had an intimate relationship in that sense for how long now? Yara was severely disabled for years and years. So I haven't had an intimate relationship for at least 15 years. While she was still alive and able to speak, she she made it very clear, look, Krishnaraj, I'm fine if you have another relationship. She knew, she could see what was happening. I would love it to happen if it happens, but by God, I've been on my own in that sense for a long time now, so my demands would be pretty bloody high. Yeah, ready for it. Salad and roast pumpkin from last night and a bit of roast meat from last night and some celery sticks with a bit of tahini. Yep, all the good stuff. I've eaten an egg. Yep, life is good.
I think I know.
Yeah.
I think I've seen him over the last 14 years really flourish. And when I think about, he's 77, he's still getting the cow every day. He's looking after his chickens. He's having lots of yummy interactions with all the people around him, and he's just really, right there. And I imagine, people in similar situations, they might be somewhere very different and actually feeling quite lonely. And so I love that he's part of life and that he's still, fit and really committed to be still learning.
Yeah, so the parents are still number one, even with all the kids here, and there's no denying that. So my role is, it's the same as the parents, is to be themselves, to be myself, to be respectful, which and then I notice I'm given respect, but not because of anything special. I think to them I live here as much as they live here. When it comes to guidance, that's again, is especially at younger ages, in one sense given very few choices from up to the age of 6, 7, and then gradually they're given more and more. The parents just are clear in themselves what the child needs right now in any particular moment. I've seen other parents talking to 2-year-old or younger and saying, now, Johnny, what would you like to do now? And then giving long lectures about if you want this, then that, or anyway, just lots of talking. And a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, they just want clarity. You're the one who knows, and you tell me what we're going to do now. And in that context, they have huge freedom.
Yeah. So Luca, when he was 14, and he was homeschooled, he started going out with an arborist, just helping, and because he basically could climb before he walked. He's always loved climbing, and slowly he sort of, started learning more skills, did a little course here and there, and then started his apprenticeship for arboriculture. And when he was 17, he said, okay, well, I think I've got enough skills now to start contracting myself out to different people. And so that's when he started his business. And a year later, he said, I need someone else. So he's now employing 1.5 person. But the thing what I love the most is he loves what he does. It is such a choice. Like he's financially doing really well. He's having his own house built on our property, taking out a mortgage, and that's all great. And you can say, oh, that's success. No, for me, what is success is that he is just such a passion. He loves what he does.
This is a communal garden, so it's all shared between me and Kris. and Irma and Jan Albert and their family. It feeds all of us. Annika has a garden around her space, and Jenny and the boys, do their garden too. So there's a bit of, sometimes sharing surplus. We all do a bit, and sometimes we share the planning together and the doing. The other day we were together in that area there.
What's next? I might have another coffee actually. Yeah, take it easy for a bit and see what, and then decide. Just clean this up. I'm a morning person. Yep. And and more and more. Much more morning. If I keep trying to do too many things in the evening, too long, I don't sleep well. Yeah. Yeah, we've had many Dutch people living here, visiting here. Yeah. Well, the Irma and Albert, much more recent Dutch, so it's different from me. Dutch, I was Dutch, a long time ago, in one respect, and so, but I enjoy that. I enjoy speaking Dutch. I really do. It brings out a different part of me. I've been aware of that for a long time. Yeah, and my Dutch is, considering I was so young when I came here, my Dutch is far better than most other Dutch people. I've known Dutch people who can hardly speak Dutch after being here 5 years sometimes, let alone, so I've been away from Holland for 65 plus years. Yeah. I'll just close that, bolt that door. Yeah. Just in case something. Okay, and just pull that through. It doesn't have to be chained. Alright, so how many litres have we got? I thought it was 10 upwards, but it's 9. 9 litres, yeah. Well, that's pretty damn good. We'll put that away in the fridge for now. You want a cup of warm milk? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, cheers. I'll have a sip too. Yeah. You couldn't get it much better. Strap direct. Irma is also a nutritional coach. Things that people have gone to doctors for years. Nothing's happened, no change. They come to Irma and literally sometimes within a few days, certainly within a few weeks. And this is a non-medical training that she's had. Okay. You want to do more? No? Oh, so sweet.
Just poured some quark in the making. So I'm going to hang this in the tree now. It's going to be dripping for 24 hours. It's like a sort of a cream cheese. It's a European thing. Quack, I don't know. Quack, we say in Dutch. And it's very versatile, and it's the thing I do if I don't have much time to make a proper hard cheese. I just, you know, put this in with a culture, let it sit for 24 hours, and yeah, and then share it with people. And what I love too is that the whey, what's the stuff that the liquid that comes out of it, that's what we use to raise our piglets. They love whey, so nothing goes to waste. Put that bucket under here. And that's the thing I love is with sharing the milking with Kris and Jan Albert and me, is that we all do our different things, but because we're sharing it, it doesn't get too overwhelming. And I think people that have house cows, they sometimes just give up after a few years because it's just so constant, you know. But because we're sharing it, it's fun. And so Kris is usually the one who milks, but if he wants to go away for a week, he can. Then we take over, and then I usually make the cheese, and Kris gets to eat it too. It goes back to taking responsibility for ourselves, for our children, and it goes back to, you know, we had home births, our kids didn't go to school. We try to live in a way that we don't need a medical system, but we're happy when it's there. When, you know, when one of our daughters broke her bone, you know, an arm, then we're really grateful for that system. But we tend to be first, look at what can we do ourselves, look after ourselves, and not just ourselves, not personally, but and our family, but the wider community. And so we've had many examples where things happen with people, you know, a friend having mastitis with breastfeeding is actually, she never ended up going to the doctor because we would help her, and I think that's probably one of the things that binds us, is that we all have that sense as we want to take responsibility for our life and how we do things.
That's better. Yeah, and I want to open this. I want to look at the time for that guy coming. What time is it? Yeah, he'll be here in half an hour or something. Every year, every day, I'm aware how much I enjoy getting older. The life, it just seems to get better and better. I'm so grateful that my health is where it is, which is you know, almost not quite 100%, but as good as it gets. Yeah, I've often pondered that Edith Piaf song, Je ne regrette rien, I don't regret anything. I've had regrets for sure, especially around my kids, but they don't feel alive in me anymore. Occasionally they pop up again when I see the relationship between the parents here and their especially their teenage kids, and I think, oh wow, those years I largely missed out with my kids in various ways. But there it is. I'm so grateful, around that topic of parenting and all that. I'm so grateful that I'm given a second chance to be around, being part of being part of these kids growing up, and the joy I get out of that every day, and seeing them growing. I'd love to die in this yurt. Irma, for example, has made it very clear, and I feel it with everyone here. Irma certainly said, if you need taking care of, then we'll take care of you. There's a slogan in the primal eating world, primal, whatever you want to call it, which is live long, drop dead. Yeah, one of the black ones belongs to Jenny and Vicky. The other black one belongs to Irma, Jan Albert and me, and as does the mooing one, the Jersey, belongs to the three of us. Hey? Yeah, see, you're on film. Oh, it's alright, it's alright. Oh, it's a bit scary, eh? Oh yeah, I love it. Being out here on my own usually. Yeah, I'm nearly always on my own, and yeah, I like that. I like the light, and I love how quiet it is this time of night, apart from the turkeys, hardly ever anyone else around. Just not that I am constantly around other people on this place, but something special about the evening. Yeah. Light a fire, full moon almost. Maybe we'll see something of the moon, and and we're all coming together, and I'm looking forward to that. Could have a good evening. Look at that. Nice bed of walnut shells to help it along, maybe.
Him at the Photoshop said something like, "Oh, you must be Kris because you're harem, you're harem." So now you're harem. To me is it hilarious. Ja.
Ja, misschien valt hij op.
Misschien valt hij op.
Ja. Moeder op.
Dat veertje aan mijn poepertje gekomen.
Toen kwam zijn moeder gevlogen, die heeft dat veertje van zijn poepertje gezogen.
Ja.
Yeah.
1 year.
I'm not surprised.
No.
Wasn't yesterday.
Nisa, 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 Gai o, Gai o. Nisa, 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 Gai o.
Two parts, yeah.
Is there like is there a soprano part that's higher?
No, it's around.
So it's not a higher.
No. Well, you could sing up to higher.
Do you know when it comes in?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, okay, you come in then, I'll
Yeah,
start.
you start and I'll take you over the lawn.
And whoever wants to join me.
Vicky's coming with me.
Oh, I'll stay here then with the.
Okay, Vicky?
Nita, we're going to sing Nita.
Nisa, 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 Gai o, Gai o. Nisa, 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 Gai o. One more time. Gai Nisa, 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 Oh, that one's got good harmony, yeah. Some rounds have much better harmony than others, I think.
When they are